Timeline triggers in Edge Animate allow us to add additional instructions on the timeline right within the timeline panel. Now inside of Edge Animate, I have a pretty simple animation here. I'll hit the spacebar to preview this. So we have an apple that's just dropping down and bouncing into place. Now in the timeline panel, we have this actions layer here and this little symbol. This symbol is the insert trigger button. So what we can do is put triggers along the timeline and trigger certain events to happen. So let's grab the timeline playhead. We'll drag this back to about half a second, and let's click on this insert trigger button. That's going to bring up Edge's coding window. And on the right hand side, we have a whole series of snippets that will automatically code some instructions. At the very top, we have stop. Let's click that and then close the window. Now if I were to preview this in Edge, Edge will play right through that instruction. Since this is JavaScript, we need to preview this in a browser so that the browser can interpret the JavaScript that was written by Edge Animate. So to preview this in a browser, let's go to the File menu, choose Preview in Browser. Now we'll see the animation plays up to a half a second and then stops. Even though the apple has an easing effect on it, it will still stop in this exact spot since that JavaScript trigger on the timeline is telling everything in the animation to stop. Let's close our browser. Now if we go back to this trigger, we can double click it and get back to the code window. So there's a bunch of different things we can do inside of here. So let's delete the stop and let's come over here and choose the play reverse. Let's close this. To preview in browser, I'm going to hit Command Return. So now what will happen is the animation will play, get to the end, and then play in reverse. This is a great feature for a lot of interactive projects since we don't have to go back and create keyframes to undo an animation or return the stage to its previous state. So let's close the browser. We can also choose when this animation happens. So right now we're reversing the animation before it's even complete. We can grab the action and drag it out. So let's drag this out to 3 seconds. We'll preview this in a browser. The apple will fall, taking 1 second. It'll wait 2 seconds, and then it will play in reverse. So it plays out the 2 seconds, then reverses and plays the 2 seconds again, giving us a 4-second delay, and then reverses the animation. Let's close our browser and take a look at something else we can do with our triggers. I'm going to come over here and grab this trigger. Let's bring this back to the 1 second mark. So after the apple is bounced into place, I want to change the text on the chalkboard. So let's come down here, let's double click the action. Let's bring this up. And what we're going to do here is come down and choose Set Element Text. The name of the element is text. The HTML we want to put in here is going to be keeps the doctor away. And then close. So now instead of the animation stopping or playing in reverse, this will stop automatically by default because that's the default behavior of an Edge Animate timeline. But once we get to the end, we're going to change that text. So again, let's preview this in a browser. So now after the apple falls, the text on the chalkboard will change to the text that we set inside of our timeline trigger. So timeline triggers really give us the opportunity to change the default behavior of the way the timeline is moving and even change properties of other elements on our composition.